All right, good morning. I am 1 minute late. I am so sorry. There's no one watching anyway, but that's all right. Welcome to Premarket Wake Up with No More Paper. That's the name of the community. No More Paper Trading, or No More Paper for short. My name's Frank. I started this community so eventually people will join, and it's a community that sells nothing. Just traders getting together to talk about trading, to challenge each other, to get better, to become career traders. Not marketers, not YouTubers, not scammers, nothing like that. All right, here we go. Big news right now is the government shutdown. Oops, I'm on the wrong thing. Which, according to what I've read, if a government does shut down starting tonight at midnight, I forget what, I guess it would be Eastern Standard Time at midnight, we won't get any of the economic data that would be released tomorrow. Which, I mean, who cares? I think the one time that people from both sides come together is they can agree that the government is worthless. Because in a government shutdown, you see everything works just fine. You see how bloated it is, or how useless they are, and how they threaten us every so often with, oh, the government's going to shut down, you better do this, this, and this. At least that's one great American thing that's not going away, the American people's hate for their own government. All right, first I'm going to go over overnight moves in the ES, the NQ, the Russell and the Dow, and then gold and oil. And then I'm going to talk about the news coming out today, because that's going to still come out today. And then go over key areas. What's going to happen today, maybe some macro events. Got to make it quick, I want to get to work. All right. The ES in the overnight, mostly flat to down. Was not able to break through yesterday's close. Several attempts, actually, not just the close, but yesterday's opening range low. But yet did not want to go further down than yesterday's low, which is telling. The NQ, very similar, except didn't get anywhere near yesterday's low. Well, define near. Kind of got near it. But the NQ also rejecting yesterday's opening range low, but not finding a whole lot of sellers trying to go lower. One difference is, both of them had a formation of support at yesterday's low, this green bar right here. And the Russell, gotta find it. Russell had a pretty poor day yesterday, but kind of similar in the Russell, except the Russell's not recovering as much. Rejection of yesterday's close, bouncing between there and yesterday's opening range low, which is a little different. Ultimately dropping below yesterday's low and now rejecting yesterday's opening range low and now rejecting that. And now fighting at yesterday's low. The Dow, very similar. Could not break through yesterday's close, but also could not break lower than yesterday's opening range low. and is now looking to try again at yesterday's close. Gold, that's interesting. I might just be profit takers. I'll get into more of the macro stuff later, or the yeah. Anyway, gold in the overnight initially broke through yesterday's high, which I think is an all-time high. Yeah, yesterday we had an all-time new high in gold. So the overnight broke above it, and then I would guess this would be profit takers. Just taking it down below again, stopping at this resistance area, which would have been formed on last Tuesday. Was it last Tuesday or last 2 Tuesdays ago? No, it was last Tuesday. Oil, gotta find it. Oil's crashing. Man, that would have been hard to trade. I think I tried this trade a couple times, and I'm always early. I'll maybe talk about that a little bit when I show the daily charts. But oil in the overnight stayed above yesterday's low a little bit, but eventually broke it pretty hard. Huge down candle at around 7:55. I don't know if there was news released or something. With the U.S. government shutdown, oil might be affected, which would make sense because oil is so heavily manipulated by governments. So if the U.S. government isn't trying to prop up the oil price, or at least stabilize it, that we might see a large drop, which wish I would have noticed that earlier. I had to work all weekend and yesterday, so forgive me if I'm a little behind. All right, let's take a look at the news today and what's going to happen. We've got a Fed speech at 9 Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to trade around it. Because at the same time we have housing price index coming out. I don't see the equity markets paying much attention to it because it's almost like they've decided to not care about the shutdown or not. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they don't care. At 10 we have consumer confidence and JOLTS job openings. Is JOLTS government? Yeah. It's just a specific survey and the reason to pay people out of tax money. And then at 1 o'clock we have another Fed speech. And that's it. Most likely the government will shut down and we won't have any of this tomorrow. I am curious to see what will happen. The VIX has been trending upwards despite the market not being non-correlated for once. Usually as the VIX goes up, right here I have the VIX. Let me know if there is anyone watching. If the VIX appears too small on the screen, I'll make a new chart for it. Actually, the VIX is sort of flat, but it did gap up. And yesterday was slightly up. For most of the day. Again, that could just be because of the government shutdown, people putting in extra orders or whatever. I should really find out exactly. I know it's a volatility index, but how exactly is it measured? And what is it measured off of? I guess the range of price? Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would it be non-correlated? Just thinking out loud. The dollar has been down in the overnight. It's been trending down for the last few days. So anyway, I don't see any of this news coming out tomorrow. Who knows how long they'll hold the whole country hostage. I wonder what, let's take a look at FedWatch, and then I want to check Kalshi to see. I'm sure they're betting on right now if the government's going to shut down. I'd like to see what that's at. Just as a guess, I'd say it'd be like 80% yes, shut down, 20% no. Oh, it looks like it's gone up. Yeah. Since yesterday, it's gone up. Same thing for December's chance of a rate cut. Again, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to join our Discord. It's in the description, the link. Leave a comment, whatever. Be the first one to ever leave a comment. How about that? I really have to do more to promote this, but I'm terrible at that, and I don't care enough because I'm not trying to make a whole lot of money. And I'd really like this to grow as organically as possible to avoid, I guess, too many people trying to scam other people. I think the internet nowadays is far more bots and scammers than normal people. All right, let's check Kalshi. See what the chances of a shutdown are. I bet it's right on the first page. I was close, wasn't I? Wait a minute. I didn't know that. So you can still make money on a yes? Well, I guess because it's not 100% yet. There was a really good podcast which introduced me to Kalshi, and then I tried doing some Kalshi stuff and was terrible at it. It was not really my thing, but it was neat. What the hell's the name of the podcast? It's the most famous traders podcast out there. Chat with Traders. Anyway, one of the traders they had on was a guy who traded Kalshi and made lots of money from it, supposedly. There are some unscrupulous folks on that podcast, but for the most part, they're good traders that made their mark some way. So that's how I found out about Kalshi. I guess money could be made on just going, if you just take anything above 70% and just vote on the side of probability. I wonder what the math would be on that and how much you could win. Like here, will Biden make a public appearance? What's the rest of that? This month. I mean, I don't know how they know. Will it be reported that Joe Biden used Ambien before the 2024 president? Okay. Anyway, if you vote yes on this, you would make $108 if it turns out he does show. I forget what happens if neither happens. Well, I guess no. Wait a minute, it's before October 1st. There's a good chance no will win, unless he already did. I'm not going to bet on what amounts to an opinion. I don't understand some of this. So you can buy yes and sell yes. Buy no and sell no. But I don't get why this is so high. They must know something I don't, yeah. Oh. Appearance in Delaware. See, that's where I got disinterested a bit. I liked voting on the weather ones where it would say, isn't going to rain in such and such tomorrow. What amounts to rain? You know, is a couple drops, is a 5% chance of rain, and I remember one, I think it was, I think it did rain, but I still lost because under their requirements, it said it didn't rain or whatever. I don't know. I guess I would only choose the ones that are very popular, like the government shutdown. So the strategy would be, they would all have to be ones that are monthly, that only go to the end of the month, because you don't want to wait years for this to come true, just like this one here, the election. And you would pick them, anything above 70% automatically, well, I'd say between 70 and 75, or 70 and 80 maybe. You would go on the side of the probability. I bet you would make money. think I'll jot that down later. Check it out. All right, let's look at key areas and then I'm done. So it seems like the market has decided it's going to go up. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So, but I'm not 100% on that. I'm like 55% on it. So if price does break above the close, I'd be looking at yesterday's high. And then beyond that, obviously, you have the all-time high. If we head lower, there's not much before we get to, it would be Friday's close or Thursday's close at 66.60. For the NASDAQ, very similar. Actually, the NASDAQ is making a hit right now at the at yesterday's close. If we go beyond that, I'd be looking at yesterday's high. If we trend lower, definitely yesterday's low, did not yet break that. And then beyond that, we have, again, Thursday's close. I don't see us getting lower. I guess I could call it manipulation. It just seems like there's some type of manipulation in the markets lately that, I mean, let's look at the pattern. You get a pullback for just 2 days, and then a rip. Slight pullback, rip. Slight pullback, rip. Here's a 3-day pullback, and then we have a rip. Although, well, we'll see. The day's not over yet. Although if you follow the wicks, I believe this type of candle indicates we could go lower. There's no wick at all below. Maybe it's the opposite. All right, Russell, not doing as good as the others. If we head higher, watch out for yesterday's close and then yesterday's high. If we head lower, we're looking at, I mean, yesterday's low, but we've already dipped past there. I would say then that would be last month's high at 24.18. We were held up there once before. I could see us holding up there again. Also above us is the R1 pivot points. I consider pivot points very important. Similar on the Dow. Not much different than the others, or the Russell at least. If we head higher, we have yesterday's high, which just barely got to the, well, just barely missed the pivot point yesterday. It was actually yesterday before 9:30 open. If we head lower, the previous month's high at 46,169. Gold in the overnight made new all-time highs, but then rejected it didn't get a whole lot of sellers coming in. That might have just been profit taking. It happened right around 245, which is odd. There's not a lot of traders up then, except in other countries. So I might ask, why would other countries wanna? I guess they wanted to take profits. So if we head higher, I would definitely pay attention to that high at 3,899. And if we head lower, again, we're looking at the overnight low in this resistance area, which was built on Tuesday, last Tuesday. I thought gold didn't have any more room to go higher almost a month ago, but it just keeps going higher. I've been staying away from it. I mean, look at this MACD. It's been sputtering on fumes, and it just keeps going. I don't really see any explicit patterns either. If you notice something, let me know. If you know something I don't. The triangle, I definitely see going all the way back to April. And we broke out around beginning of September. But yeah, I'm staying away from this for a while. Again, I want to know exactly how they measure these for MACD. It's not ratio of, I guess it's a correlation of the previous. I don't know. There's just too many things to know. Oil. Again, this is my theory. I don't know how true it is, but oil is heavily manipulated by the government. So with the government shutting down, I guess you're going to see a drop in the price of oil. Or could be something else. I don't know. I've been staying away from oil too, quite a bit. I've actually moved to trading the NQ more than the ES, just because you can scalp on the NQ a lot better with more profits. All right, I think it would be good to just historically look at the last time we had a real government shutdown. What happened in the markets? I think it was 2019, but let me look that up quick and we'll take a look at that. Wouldn't it be something if they shut down and that was it? Never came back up again? Everyone just said, I don't care? Well, let me see if I can show this list. This is confusing. Oh, okay. I guess it's a Republican tactic. I don't know enough about it and I don't really care. But only some agencies were affected in the 35-day shutdown in 2018 and 2019. Why only some, and why sometimes all? I'm only interested in the most recent ones. But I do find it interesting that we didn't have any from 96 to 2013. It's a pretty good run. Let's check 2013 first. October 1st, 2013. Geez, can I go back that far in my charts? Yes, I can. I can't see in the 5-minute though. Can only see on the daily, I believe. Let me try the 5-minute. What? 2013. Well, that didn't work. Let me just try regular trading hours. I really don't think it'll let me. I don't know if anyone has that data in the whole world. I forget what I was looking for in the past. Let me turn off all this. Can't go past September, a year. So I might be able to go 2 years in ultimate, but alright, so we're not going to see in the 5-minute, I don't think anything lower than day. I mean, we can try hour. Ooh, close. 2014. Let's try 2 hour. Cool. Okay. So 2013. According to Wikipedia, October 1st to October 17th. Look at that. Market actually went up. The first day of the government shutdown in 2013. At least the S&P. And it lasted till the 17th. Well, it was the beginning of the day. It went up pretty good for the whole day. But by the 17th, we were pretty far down. All in all, though, it doesn't look like it had a huge effect. By the end of the government shutdown, the market was actually up. And who knows what caused this. All right, let's take a look at the next one. In 2018, it was only for 3 days, but January 20th, 2018. That was a Saturday, so it only lasted till Monday. But let's see if there's any market reaction anyway. I'll do 22nd of January 2018. I can actually go to the hour chart for that. Maybe because government was going back in order, it rose, but market was up for that day. All right, let's check 2018. 2019 was the largest government shutdown of all time, I think. December 22nd, 2018. Wait a minute. Okay. And I'm assuming these times are right. So that was on a weekend also. But it was shut down until the 25th of January 2019. So initially the market seemed to go down and then recovered pretty quickly. All the way till the 22nd, which is around here. Again, I don't see a huge market reaction from it. Therefore, I don't think we'll see much tomorrow when the actual shutdown begins. I'm going to keep trading through today, except for the times I block out, such as, let's take a look at them again just in case. I'm going to block out ADP. Well, that already happened, didn't it? No, that's tomorrow. Oh, that's something. So ADP is released by private company, so that'll still happen tomorrow. Take note of that. Most likely. We got PMI in 34 minutes, so I won't trade during that. And consumer confidence shortly thereafter. I won't trade during that. But between there, I'll trade. And then I might be cautious around Goolsby's speech. Other than that, good to go. All right, that's it. I'm done for today. Again, I had no viewers, but that's okay. Maybe I'll start calling this a video diary. All right, happy trading. Have a good one.